Hamstrings flexibility. In this video I'm going to show you the best exercises you want to use to stretch your hamstrings, which is to say the posterior part of your legs. You want to stretch your hamstrings for a simple reason. In this way you're going to have flexible hips and lower body. Alright, that's it. The hamstrings are among the most important muscles you want to stretch for that. I'm going to show you a progression of exercises. So I'm going to start from the easy exercises and then I'm going to increase the intensity and show finally the hardest, the badass stretches to deeply stretch your hamstring muscles. Alright, now with that said, let's start. The flexibility guy, Coach Elia. Alright guys, so first exercise I do want to show you, just need a band. Now, this exercise here is really easy, alright? So you want to do it when you are a beginner, when you start your flexibility journey and you're wondering, how should I stretch my hamstrings? So this is the first one, mostly because it teaches you how to move your body correctly in order to stretch your hamstrings. So pay attention now, even if you are an intermediate or an advanced, maybe here are some important concepts you don't want to miss, all right? So you just need a mat. You want to lie down on the mat this way, all right? Back on the mat like this, lower back straight. Now from this position here, one leg straight in front of you, like this. I'm gonna use a band, as you can see. I'm gonna wrap the band around my foot, and now keeping my leg bent, all right, like this at first. I'm gonna pull my knee toward my chest this way. As soon as I reach my max range of motion, then I try with my knee in the same position, my lower back straight against the floor. I'm gonna pull my foot toward my face like this, so I'm gonna straighten the leg. As soon as I feel the stretch, I stop there. Now, the most important thing, the knee stays here, all right? So, fix the knee here, just move through the foot like this. You do want to move through the foot. And then as you reach the stretch, you can remain here. You can apply a PNF contraction, which means you can push your foot down that direction, all right, for 10 seconds. So you hold this isometric contraction and then you stop, inhale, exhale, and then you can get deeper into the stretch. This is how you want to increase this range of motion. This is the first variation, all right? Bent leg. As you can see, I don't want to straighten my leg completely. As soon as I feel the stretch, I may stop here, I may stop here, I may stop here, I may stop here. It depends on your flexibility. This is great because you can fix the knee and work just on the hamstring, all right? Because here, I go into the max stretch like this, and then I straighten the knee gradually. The more I can straighten it, of course, the more I'm gonna feel the stretch here. Bent leg variation, straight leg variation, you straighten your knee like that, all right? You don't care about your knee anymore here, all right? You don't care about the distance between your knee and your chest. You just pull through, all right? So you keep your legs straight. Maybe you want to squeeze your quad a little to keep your knee straighter, all right? So you keep this nice gentle contraction here at all times, and then you want to pull and get into the stretch. Now, same concept. I stop whenever I feel the stretch. The hip is touching the floor. Can you see it? The hip is touching the floor. Now, from here, I want to stop, and then to increase the stretch, I can push that forward. That direction, all right? 10 seconds, for example, isometric contraction. Then I stop after 10 seconds, inhale, exhale. I can get deeper into the stretch. As you can see, this is really, really good because depending on your level of preparation, you can pull less or more. You can use the elastic band. Then, at a certain point in time, you also wanna grab your foot. That's excellent as a kind of a hamstring flexibility level, all right? So there's also kind of a test that tells you how's your hamstrings flexibility. If you have to pull onto a band or a towel, something like that, then maybe you can improve your hamstrings flexibility. As soon as you can, with your legs straight, grab your foot and pull your leg toward your chest, toward your face. This shows you that you have reached a good hamstrings flexibility level, all right? Of course, you do want to repeat this kind of stretch on both sides. If you got a stiffer side, remember you do want to take a set more on that side. And this is the first exercise you want to do for your hamstrings flexibility. Now, let's see the second one. Second exercise you do want to use to increase your hamstrings flexibility, you just need a chair or a bench, something like that. It has to be approximately at your knee level, all right? Now, look at this. I got a weight here, all right? So, grab yourself a little weight to start with, all right? Just a little weight. With time, you can increase it, but to start, a little weight, all right? This is kind of 4 kilos or something like that, 8 pounds. Now, from this position here, you do want to put your front heel on top of the chair or the bench. Keep your leg bent to start with. The weight goes on the opposite side of your front leg. So, left leg in front, for example, weight on my right. I bend my front knee this way. Now, the back is straight, the head goes in front of you, as in the first exercise, all right? So, back is straight, head in front of you, and come back. I can do this dynamically at first. So I do want to find my max range of motion, stop here for a couple of seconds, come back up. As you do that, keep your bottom leg straight, all right? On the last repetition, after 6 to 10 reps, you can remain in the stretch. You can grab the bench, and from here, you let the weight, can you see the weight? Pull your body toward your front leg. Now, the main idea here, bent leg variation, is that you keep your knee bent in order to touch the knee with the chest, all right? So maybe you can keep it a little straighter or a little less, but you want to find your range of motion. The idea is that at each rep, you do want to touch your knee with your chest. Second variation, legs straight. Again, as in the first exercise, the bent leg variation is excellent to focus the stretch on your hamstring, the bent one. The straight one is excellent to stretch the whole posterior chain. So I'm talking about the glutes and the hamstrings again, but I'm talking also about the calves. This is what happens when you straighten your leg. You involve the calves as well during the stretch. Now, straight leg variation, the knee is straight. You don't care about your chest touching the knee during this variation here. You just want to go down until you can, all right? So straighten your lower back, grab your head in front of you. Reach the bottom, doesn't matter. Chest to the knee, doesn't matter how much you can go. You stop whenever you feel the stretch on your hamstrings, on the posterior part of your leg, and on your calves, and you come back up. You can repeat this for 6 to 10 reps. On the last one, grab the chair or the bench, relax in the position. Let the weight pull yourself deeper into the stretch. In both variations, you can apply a P&F contraction. You just have to push your front heel toward the bench or the chair for 10 seconds, isometric contraction, hold that contraction, and then stop, inhale. On the exhale, can you see the weight? The weight is doing the job here. I wanna drive my body down thanks to the weight, but now there's a major mistake people make here. Can you see? I'm doing the same exercise, but look at what happens. Now I got my spine curved. I'm increasing my range of motion? No. Am I increasing my range of motion? Definitely not. Because here I'm using the curve of my spine to get into the position. Now look at what happens if I straighten my spine. It's not only about the spine, it's about the hips in this case, all right? So I'm opening through the hips thanks to the spine, all right? So always remember, you don't wanna drive your head down and curve your back. You do want to straighten your back and drive your head in front of you. This is what creates the stretch in the correct way, all right? So now you know how to perform this second exercise for your hamstrings flexibility. Really one of my favorite ones, all right? So this one is gonna give you all you need to increase your hamstrings flexibility like crazy from 0 to hero, all right? From the really beginner level to an intermediate and advanced level. Use it. Now, let's get to the third exercise for your hamstrings flexibility. Third exercise you do want to use for your hamstrings flexibility, a chair and a weight. Again, but this time it's gonna be a lot harder, all right? So what you do want to do is this. You do want to stand on the chair or on the bench at the edge of the chair, all right? Now, if you are a beginner, you do want to spread your legs a little wide apart, just a little, all right? And this is going to simplify the stretch a little. As you get better and better, you do want to take your feet together, all right? But keep it gradual. But you don't want to do it too much. I mean, you don't want to spread your legs too much, all right? Just a little. Think about the width of your shoulders, all right? That's the max distance you gotta have between your feet, all right? That's the max. Now, I'm gonna show you, for example, like this, all right? You want to stand at the edge of the chair or the bench, whatever. Now, grab the weight, legs straight, head in front of you, and you go down. You let the weight pull yourself into the stretch. Now, I want to show you an interesting variation here, which is going to increase your hamstring flexibility like crazy. Now, I got my legs straight now, right? Now, look, I do want to bend one leg and straighten the other completely. So the stretch is going to shift toward my right leg in this case, because I got my left leg which is bent, so the stretch is less, but my right leg is straight, so it's staying all over the stretch. And now I'm gonna change, so I'm gonna straighten my left, I'm gonna bend my right. And I can repeat this dynamically for reps. At each rep, I do want to get deeper into the stretch, all right? So I'm gonna focus the stretch on one leg per time, and this is gonna help you also fix your muscle imbalances, all right? So if you got one side stiffer than the other, this kind of strategy is gonna help you fix that. After 10 to 20 reps, you do want to stop for 5 breaths on one side, 5 breaths on the other side, 5 breaths with your legs straight, and you just pull yourself deeper and deeper into the stretch, all right? 5 final breaths, and then you slowly get out of the stretch, all right? So this is the technique. Remember, do you remember the first exercise with the back completely against the floor? That is the sensation you do want to feel when you perform this exercise. Don't think about the curving of the spine. Think about moving your head away from your hips. This is going to straighten the spine and create the correct activations in order to stretch your posterior chain, which is to say your hamstrings, your glutes, and your calves like crazy and in the correct way, all right? There's a gold one, all right? You always want to use it if you want to have flexible hamstrings and a flexible posterior chain in general. Now, let's see the last exercise we do want to see. The fourth and final hamstring stretch. Fourth and last exercise you do want to use to stretch your hamstrings, and this is really similar to a front split. I know what you're thinking about. Why is this guy showing me a front split when I want to stretch my hamstrings? Well, the reason is simple. The front split, or something similar to a front split, is one of the best ways you can use to stretch your hamstrings. Let me show you why. Don't worry if you are a beginner. I'm not gonna ask you to go toward the floor, like actually touching the floor in a front split, all right? You can use your progression. Choose your progression. Doesn't matter what, all right? You just have to feel the stretch. But the concept here is really interesting. This is why you need some yoga blocks. I got 4, all right? You can also use 2. 4 is better though, all right? So I got a couple here and a couple here. Now, look at what I wanna do. So I do want to start in a lunge. Don't forget about the front split now, all right? Start in a lunge, like this, like this. Now, I want to drive my hips down, like this. I want to set the height under my hips, like this, for example, my front hip. Now, what I do want to do from here is this. I do want to take my front leg in front of me like this, and I want to straighten my leg slowly. Now, the reason why I'm telling you that this is one of the strongest stretches you can use for your hamstrings is simple. Your hips work in a certain way. In this way, I'm gonna kind of put a little bit of stretch here on my back hip, on the hip flexors. These muscles are called the hip flexors. I got the quad, I got the iliopsoas here. This kind of strategy is going to pull your hips into anterior tilt. So since the stretch is here, all right, can you see this kind of stretch? This kind of leg position is gonna pull my hips into anterior tilt. And that anterior tilt is gonna pull my hamstrings into a deep stretch, really deep stretch, all right? In order to increase this stretch, to increase kind of the depth of this stretch, you can use a PNF contraction, which means you do want to push with this foot against the floor for 10 seconds. So I push, I hold that contraction dynamically for 10 seconds, and then I stop, inhale, on the exhale, I slide forward, all right? So it's all about this sliding motion until I can get straight with my front leg. When you're comfortable with your body straight, you do want to anterior tilt, all right? Straighten your back, move your head in front of you, and move your body down. This is going to increase the intensity of the stretch, giving your hamstrings a very deep stretch, all right? And this is the last one I want to show you, because this one is gonna give you the superpowers. This is gonna give you the superpowers. This is gonna give you excellent hamstring flexibility, all right? So we have seen 4 exercises for your hamstrings, from the easiest to the hardest one, which this last one is essentially on its last stages a front split, which is one of the best stretching exercises you can use to stretch your hamstrings. But you got plenty of exercises to play with, all right? The most important thing is not that you want to use just one of them. The most important thing is that you find your progression. My opinion, doesn't matter your level, you can find your progression for each and every exercise I've shown you, all right? For each and every exercise, you can find your progression, all right? So there's the kind of reasoning you do want to follow when you want to kind of stretch your hamstrings and really get results. These exercises here are the best exercises you can use to get results, to get those hamstrings flexible for whatever kind of thing you do want to do, all right? You may want to do. Guys, I hope that you appreciated the content and that my explanations and my content are clear enough and beautiful to follow and to, yeah, you know, to work with during your trainings. Let me know in the comments down below if you appreciated the content. Also, if you got any questions regarding this video, regarding these exercises, or about your flexibility journey. Now, I want to remember you that if you want to follow a program with me to increase your flexibility, doesn't matter where, shoulders, lower body, upper body in general, also the upper and the lower body at all, you can book an online free call with me. We're gonna jump on a call, we're gonna talk about how to create a program for you, and I'm gonna design this program for you that you can follow and that you can use to increase your flexibility. I've got a few spots available. Check out the link in the description down below. Get on a free call, it's free, all right? And then we're gonna get started with your program. With that said, thank you so much for being here again. See you in the next video. Bye. Hey, if you want to improve your legs, hips, lower body flexibility in general, and you also want to master the splits, in this book you can find all the exercises you need. This is called Split Sacking, and you can find it on Amazon right now.